Okay, guys, we are at the Yale Art University. And anyway,
it's a Yale University Art Gallery.
Yale University Art Gallery. Now, that's where we're kind of looking at now is the Rhode Island furniture and whatever. And it's only here until January 8th. So I highly suggest you come see it. It is marvelous. So we're just going to kind of be looking and getting some shots and filming a little bit so you can see some of what's in here. But it is a magnificent collection. This is some William and Mary pieces.
The figure in this.
That's what I'm saying. That's one of the things that's disappointing today. Is when you see pieces like this and you see the figures in this wood, you just can't find it. It's not out there anymore.
The wood itself doesn't exist?
It's next to impossible to get your
Right. Yeah. And it's a maple or walnut, I can't remember what.
This is walnut and maple.
And that just that.
And then they slice it here again. And then this one's made out of tiger maple. Again, it's just a maple tree, but it develops this figure in it. And people, what called
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, but it's pretty. And
it's a genetic defect. Yeah.
Is the wood hard to come by?
Yes. Well, no, it is, but it's good stuff.
Imported and exported too. Our wood was brought from Africa, I believe. I'm not sure.
Well, you take like the Gother Counts and stuff, and most of it's mahogany. The mahogany they were going to use came through the San Domingo or Cuba. And the Cuban mahogany is, it's fantastic.
And they've got a video playing showing how this carving would have been done with the tools they had in that era.
And this is all, the pieces in here, that's quarter sawn oak. Okay, guys, John Townsend. A couple things. The first, I noticed from across the room, if you look at the undercut talons on the ball and claw. Now it says this piece was done early in his career. The front of it is mahogany. I can't really tell everything else. It looks like the sides are pine, but if you read, it says it's mahogany primary, red cedar, yellow poplar, mahogany, chestnut, and pine. He used whatever he had. Check this little table out with a slipper foot. That's a nice little foot.
Yeah, I've never seen you do that foot.
So it's unusual that
I told you there.
Candy store. Oh, of course.
Now, I was reading on the card here that this lattice work was not typical of Rhode Island.
But the whole Goddard Townsend shop was very innovative. And you know, to think about these people and that their minds conceiving this type of stuff. I mean, real poignant table. Maybe the things that I'm saying about this collection is these are original pieces in original condition. You know, I'm not saying there hadn't been something done, but these are the real deal. Absolutely fascinating. You guys have got to come see this. All right, guys, I don't know about you, but for me, this is a real treat. The drawers are out. You can see it's pine secondary. And look up here on the front where the mahogany is. These were done by John Townsend.
I can't get there. Look at how tiny those dovetails are.
Do what?
Look how tiny those dovetails
Oh,
are.
yeah. Now, if you come around, oh my God, anybody's been following the clock, there's that urn finial again. Oh, my nemesis, that finial.
That finial.
But this is the case. It says John Townsend made this at the age of 27 in 1759.
So all the rest of you need to get busy.
Yep. Look at the undercut. Now, of course, notice that you've got a ball and claw on the front. You just got a cabriolet on the rear. Again, they put their best foot forward. But again, you've got the dovetails and so forth, so on. Quarter columns.
And all their finials go the same direction. There's no
Yeah.
right, left, and what do you do
And
about
that's
the middle?
unusual.
Because I know you were debating on that at one point. And when you're here in the museum, they do have a video demo. They actually show some of these that are available to touch if you wanted to touch something.
Well, guys, here's one of the ones that, this is John Goddard. Another one of my heroes. And, well, look what we got standing next door. Got it. This is the one that every piece of furniture, nowadays, I guess, in the world, is judged by. The infamous Goddard Townsend secretary. And we'll be seeing some more of this at the Met.
Okay.
Check out the pigeonholes in this one, guys. Maybe we should have done something like that on the Calista Ann, but I don't want to call her Flame Birch.
It's nice that they do have this one open that you can see in it, though.
Yeah, that's very nice.
It's a really beautiful piece. Now, why would he have put a piece of wood behind the broken arch?
A lot of them did that because there's nothing back there.
Yeah, but I
because if you look at this one, it's not.
Right. Usually it's not.
Yeah. Hey guys, is this not a killer sideboard? Serpentine sideboard, that is beautiful. Notice how we've got the serpentine on the center, but here's something interesting. A lot of them, most of them I've never seen the leg turn. See how the leg turns down?
Oh, at an angle.
Angle?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. We need to do some federal stuff. I like it.
And the plaque says that it was a wedding gift, but it's got a cool little inlay engraving. Looks like a monogram of some sort on the brass.
That's pretty cool.
They don't fall into any one.
When I came in here, I wouldn't look twice at a modern or contemporary painting.
Initially, yeah.
Didn't make any sense.
Right.
But then along the way, I'm going to look at it.
And also, if you hear the curator's talk about it, you understand that what the intention of the artist was, it makes it look a little different. It's not just.
Similar carving, the sunflowers with the tulips, and then these kind of larger tulips on the side. So down here is one of my other favorite objects to talk about. Is this one right here. 1830. And so the first way that it's kind of playing a trick on you is that it's all ornamental paint. So it's just basswood, but it has this pretty incredible grain surface that a professional painter clearly spent quite a while building up. And it's really fascinating to think about what he would have been looking at and what he is kind of wanting you to think this is, because this is the time period where the kind of neoclassical federal style is starting to transform into the late classical style. And so as in opposition to what we just saw, where the main decorative elements are either these big applied elements, by the time you get to the federal period, the proportions have changed to be more delicate, and you want flat surfaces and much more veneer and inlay work. And that's what he's mimicking here. So you see he's even taken the idea of, these pieces right here in the center are this figured wood, probably a mahogany that he's going for. And what makers would do if they were actually using veneer to construct drawers is they would try to take slices one behind the other from the piece of wood so that the design kind of moves down the object. And you can see that's what he's mimicking here. So here, this would be kind of the first piece. You see the beginning of the figure, and then here it's developed a little, here a little more, and then there even a little more. So he knows how these makers are selecting their veneer even when he's painting this. And he's even gone to the trouble of putting in this kind of these stringing inlays right here, and then this is a different kind of wood that he's mimicking. It looks to me like a bird's eye maple, or even a tiger striped maple right there in those bands, and then something completely different on the outside too. So he's really layering this, but it shows that he's really been looking at a lot of furniture and he understands how veneer works. That by 1820 had been around for hundreds of years. It's got a little till over there for storing smaller objects.
Is this when this Yeah, this is also what holds the lid open.
Yeah, yeah. It does that, and it makes sense. You know, if you have smaller objects you want to store in here, you don't want to have to be searching around the whole rest of the chest. And that happened quite commonly, that paint would be stripped off of things. This piece likely had paint on it. Because you have to think of these pieces as furniture, but kind of fixed furniture. This is a North Carolina cellarette, but it does look just like a sugar chest, except that that's our big clue.
Yeah.
That it would have held those, you know, square-shaped case bottles. And it has, I think it says Mr. John Bent or something similar. We're actually working on a project right now with some of our joke about Connecticut furniture when you're learning American decorative arts is that if it's made of cherry and if it's odd, it's Connecticut. It's obviously not going to be true all of the time, but in this case it kind of is. It is made of cherry, and almost every attribute on this is kind of a little unique to this piece. For example, the way this treatment on the doors, that basically is, you know, these are window muntins. They basically constructed windows and then put these raised panels in them. They actually thought of a pretty neat way for the hinges to work. So if we open this whole kind of the fluted part of this column, it swings with the door.
Oh, cool.
So this is the same piece as the door, and
That's
so the hinges are down here and up there.
That's cool.
Almost like on a dowel kind of hinge.
So it sits, you know, down in there. It's pretty neat.
But initially, looking at it, you just think it's a quarter
Exactly.
column.
Yeah, they, I guess, decided to actually make it do something. So the secret compartments in here start with this center piece. So that, you know, you see those, you know, this pulling out, or it doesn't on this piece, but often these will pull out. Then you take out this piece. And then at this point you need something to trip. There's a Quaker lock up there, so you just need to apply some pressure. And then this slides out. It does not have document drawers that pull from the front, but what it does have are these four
That's cool.
little...
My goodness.
Yeah, so you pull those out, and it's just long pieces. So it's got 4 of those. But we're not done yet. There is this little well back here, so you can see there's a cover. So you kind of push that back. And then there's this little drawer right there that sits back. So, so again, the way that to view this piece, I think, is that, you know, none of these secret compartments on its own is unique. You know, these appear in different configurations in other desks, but to have all of these in the same desk is
There's the center divider in this. Well,
no, I wish it did. I'm gonna put this back. But speaking of little chalk marks that they use to kind of mark their, they use this little loop, I guess. Kind of rule of thumb in looking at John Goddard's carving versus, you know, John Townsend's or other carving is that John Goddard tended to have this kind of bulge right here, kind of at the rear of on the rear talon, and other carvers did not do that.
Now, Goddard and Townsend, my understanding was Goddard was the one who did the undercut talon, but yet over there I saw some pieces Goddard, Townsend with the undercut talon. So I guess it was just something came out of both of them from the shop.
Well, and other makers did too. There's a Benjamin Baker high chest. He was a maker working in Newport that has undercut talons. So, you know, several makers were doing it. And you have to imagine, you know, the Townsend and Goddard family of makers, you know, was 6 generations plus of multiple makers in each generation. So it was quite a group of people. So yeah, it wasn't just Townsend and Goddard's even doing it. Yeah.
Looking at that piece right there, the foot's not turned as it makes the serpentine go straight.
That was a big home run. I don't think Mary would have wanted to do that. She could,
Shakers. It's crazy. Very ornate.
yeah, look at the wood. Look at the bird's eye in that, John.
You like arts and crafts?
God knows one thing I don't like about it is the weight of those pieces.
Oh, yeah.
The secretary.
Found it.
And the pie crust table there. That's just a little too ornate for me up top.
No, well, they seem to ruin them right at the top. But like that stuff.
Yeah, the lattice in there.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I mean, that's ornate, but nice.
Yeah, see, that's just
Dragon.
it's a little too out there for my taste. Knee chest or table.
Huh?
The little knee table. I call them knee tables. But
Need it. We need to film a little something for the show.
and I don't think I've ever seen him put escutcheons on the outside.
Yeah, this doesn't have, it doesn't, I don't think it's attributed to anyone.
Charles, I don't know that I've ever seen him put escutcheons on the outsides like that.
Yeah, sometimes they do. And while this is a superb example, it's not quite it.
Yeah.
But it's here. We'll
It's
keep
here.
looking.
I think it might be around this. Is it around that bend or no? Coloring. Is that the one you were looking for? Mm-hmm. Yay, I found it.
Yeah, but where's the,
But there's something. Just will be sure to get a picture. No, this isn't it. This may be a John Townsend, but the one we've got in the book doesn't have the glass, or does it? Yeah, it has glass inside, but the finials are much larger.
the other thing is that back. The other thing is that back column looks kind of.
Hey guys, okay, we're at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City, and behind me here's one of my old buddies. Recognize this guy? This is tall case clock, John Townsend. Now that I've worked on it so much, I was really excited to get to come back and to look at it again. So we're going to get some film. We can't talk too much, but we'll get some more film and show you some more pieces.
Visible storage. So that's kind of like the study that we were at.
One of the library rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that you should see the paintings like on the wall. We've collected a little furniture over the years.
But this was what the study looked like at Rhode Island, except it wasn't behind glass. I mean, at Yale.
Yeah, this is like the study. But man, it is full.
Man, it is full.
Oh, look at the small samples.
Those are cool.
Those are cool.
Probably about 3 feet tall for this tall case.
These would be salesman samples. Got some more tall clocks down here.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know that when you started this project, it was to be a replica. I think enough people have replicated them. I think you go with, my opinion is you go with the general idea and just make it your own at this point.
Well, I wanted to replicate that one because it's so beautiful.
We're just following along with you. I think you're kind of hitting toward the end of furniture and moving into art there.
Yeah, well. Yeah, the Met's one of those places you could just wander forever. And it's some of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And just, you know, see the craftsmanship, and it's just amazing. And some of it's not so good.
Yeah, it's just that it's old. They kind of blew these up so you could see construction.
Yeah, see how they do it. This is interesting right here, in the fact that the dovetail, there's a dovetail slot in the side of the case that this dovetails on the back of the rail, comes in this way so that you don't see the dovetail visible on the front.
I was noticing that notch.
But that's also done with a quarter column, and oftentimes that happens. Well, I don't know why, but the clock, from the time we saw it years back, has been moved, and that exhibit isn't there. But this is the clock. The one we saw earlier is the same, but this one, the fingernails, for whatever reason, are not on it. And the way I know that is the size on the clock. That other clock is smaller. This is the original clock we saw here several years ago.
And they put it behind plexiglass to keep you away from it?
Something like that. But then again, wait a minute, no, I'm wrong. And I'll tell you why I'm wrong. Because look at the waist on it. It doesn't have the... So I guess the one upstairs, it is... I'll have to go back and do a little bit of looking. But this is an identical replica to it. See how pretty that is about the hand.
Not for profit, but it's pretty profitable for the people running it.
Yeah. I tell you what,
Feel like a sardine.
yeah, look, I got leg room.
And we'll have beer soon.